Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Joining the Ranks, and today, as promised, I'll be counting down my rankings of the characters introduced in my favourite season of Disventure Camp so far, Carnival of Chaos. This has probably been the hardest lot to rank, as I actually appreciate most of the characters we met this time around, but I'm determined to give it a go for you guys, no matter how long it may take. With that being said, here's my little disclaimer that all opinions are completely my own and must be respected the same way I respect said choices of all others in the fandom. Here we go again. Let's join the ranks. Number 18, Spencer. No amount of words can describe how much I hate this pathetic shell of a human being. I really tried to find the good in him, I really did, but I just can't. Most Disventure Camp villains have a reason for why they act antagonistic, from fame to money to social acceptance. But Spencer's behaviour has no logical explanation. It seems he's just an asshole for the hell of it. I can't wait for someone in Fans vs. Favorites to wipe that smug look off his face like they did at the carnival. Seriously, I bet you there are serial killers less anal. Throughout his 2 seasons thus far, he's thrived off of bullying others he considers weaker than him to get what he wants, sticking his nose up at those he considers inferior to him, and showing absolutely no remorse for his despicable actions whatsoever. Suffice to say, he's a horrible person who does not deserve any of my respect, and is rightfully my least favourite Disventure Camp character of all time. Number 17, Amelie. Everyone's favourite French wedding planner isn't a bad character in the slightest, but I always felt she was quite overrated, and her fellow competitors seemed to be bigger standouts for me. Despite this, I can easily appreciate Amelie's first arc in the series as a cynical businesswoman who rubbed her team up the wrong way before being taught how to lighten up and make real friends and connections. I didn't think her comeback was needed after I found her previous arc to have been wrapped up nicely as is, but it still managed to keep the story moving forward in a sense, thus becoming an integral part of not just Disventure Camp's 4th season, but the series in general. Number 16, Alessio. Volare! The Carnival's resident Italian artist only just falls short of the like tier solely for the fact that being of Italian descent myself, I don't believe he had a convincing accent in the slightest. No shade to his voice actor Mackenzie McClure, I just felt it could have been better. Regardless, Alessio became so much more than just another first boot in the series. We got to see him complete his arc of finding artistic inspiration early on before he rediscovered his passion for visual and performing arts, finding himself a muse for the ages, and making lifelong friends with campers to keep his spirit alive against all odds. Viva Signora Castelli. Number 15, Isabel. Another character I thought to be a tad overrated. Isabel did grow on me after a while, as she did know how to play the game ruthlessly while still having a great social game. Sure, she could be annoying at times, and some of her moves were questionable to say the least, but she did provide many laughs at the carnival as well as Disventure Camp's best ever scream, and we as the viewers anticipated every moment of screen time she received. After all, Isabel's not just a regular nun, she's a cool nun. Tell Sister Mary Clarence from Sister Act to step aside. Number 14, Jade. I won't lie to you all, I was not a fan of Jade in the slightest when Season 4 began, especially when she claimed to be playing a morally grey game without harming anyone in the long run, but still made all her early moves in a sleazy way. However, by the time Merge hit, she started to practice what she preached. She slowly gained my respect little by little, and by the time she reached the finale, I found myself rooting for her as well as the eventual winner. Jade also gave us some really wholesome moments that I consider highlights of DC4. Most notably her bond with the turtles on the beach and showing remorse for her previous actions. Safe to say, she is one of the only characters in the series I grew to like after a disappointing start, and came full circle as a character overall. Number 13, Ted. We now come to the poker player who arguably had the most shocking elimination in Disventure Camp history. When he was first announced, many of the viewers surmised that Ted would become one of the season's main villains before his infamous blindside proved otherwise. So instead, we got a funny goofy dad who underestimated the game but made a true connection with other adult players in the game. For me, that's 10 times more honourable than any DC villain will ever be. And not to mention, he did promote a lot of body positivity in the series, as he tended to show more skin than any Speedo-wearing Hawkeye in the series ever could. Even though Ted might not have amounted to everyone's expectations, he still proved his worth to the series in his own unique fashion. Number 12, Hannah. We as an audience got to feel for Hannah more than most other Disventure Camp characters due to the significant losses she went through before and during the game. However, I do wish that we got to see more of her character besides the tragedy, because everyone who has had it rough in their lifetime is so much more than their low points, and this message unfortunately failed to register. Still, Hannah did manage to encapsulate the telltale signs of grief accurately, and we couldn't help but root for her to come out on top until her exit. And by the time the season wrapped, she was truly on her way to finally start the healing process she deserved all along. Number 11, Linda. As a gay individual who actually wants kids someday, I do not condone Linda's actions or words at the start of Carnival of Chaos in the slightest. But sure enough, we soon got to see her learn from these mistakes and evolve as a human being for the better. This metamorphosis saw her transform from a closed-minded yet timid, insecure, underappreciated housewife into a real fighter and survivor who stood out of her comfort zone to become a better person and role model. Linda doesn't get as much credit as she deserves in the game, yet she does stand out in her own right for me, and sent a strong, empowering message to everyone who has walked a mile in her shoes that leaves a lasting impression. Number 10, Natalia. When our beloved Puerto Rican PR manager and transgender queen first came on the scene, I was worried at first that she would be portrayed in a highly stereotypical fashion, but as the season progressed, she managed to prove any doubts I had wrong. Natalia showcased what a fun individual she was, all the while learning to play the game both honorably and ruthlessly, albeit a bit messily. This made her put the human element a Disventure Camp character should have on full display at the carnival, and even more so in fans vs favorites as her paranoia arc kicks in. How's that for a chisme? Number 9, Zaid. Now people can say that Zaid was a boring character with wasted potential who'll only ever be known as someone's love interest, but like him or not, he managed to prove his worth and complexity in other ways. After he and his family escaped his abusive father in Morocco, he became the definition of the American dream through hard work, perseverance, and loyalty, which defined him and his gameplay. I'll admit that he did hold unnecessary grudges in the game, acted bitterly over common game moves that didn't benefit him, and he probably shouldn't have auditioned for a reality competition if he expected honorable acts all throughout. Still, it remains a testament to the stand-up individual that Zaid truly is, and that counts for something in my book every time. Number 8, Anastasia. Proving your worth in a world dominated by straight white men is never an easy task, especially when you're in an industry where one can often feel objectified and growing up in a country that ridicules you for who you love. Anastasia managed to do this with ease throughout her time in both the carnival and fans vs favorites, and despite it being super hard for her in a game such as Disventure Camp where paranoia and doubt kicks in, she managed to come out on top despite ending her tenure without the million. I believe that she achieved what she set out to do all the same, becoming an inspiration for women like her everywhere and finding true love that keeps one motivated in the process. Number 7, Marissa. Like Zaid, many in the DC fandom often dismiss Marissa as solely someone's love interest in the series, but the impact she left as a strong competitor and stand-up individual was far greater than people realize. We got to see her carry the blue team in challenges during her pre-merge run and bring comfort and encouragement to those who she connected to after winning the comebacks in the merge stage. On top of this, she found her own strength to forge her own destiny despite familial expectations and constantly stood firm for what she believed in every step of the way. With all these factors combined, I believe that Marissa Zulu is the definition of a powerhouse, both physically and mentally. Number 6, Diego. Oh my god, marry me, Papi. Oh, sorry about that. In all seriousness though, Diego is an underrated and sometimes overhated character in DC4 solely because his main arc revolved around his crush on Spencer, but when you go back to basics, he's an individual comprised of many honorable traits that many humans look for in friends, family, and lovers. He appreciates every day as if it were his last, he always follows his heart no matter where it may take him, he treats animals and nature as equals to the human race and with the kindness they deserve, and is a natural-born leader who tried to find the best in everyone. The fact that Diego is the most physically attractive Disventure Camp contestant in my eyes doesn't hurt, but is merely a bonus at the end of the day. And I wish the fandom wouldn't dismiss him for being eye candy, but embrace him for the wonderful human being and camper he is on the inside. Number 5, Ivy. Being a former theatre kid myself, I think I could probably relate to Ivy more than most could in the fandom, from the pressure she feels to be constantly perfect in her craft, to the self-consciousness that comes with being considered too much when compared to societal norms, and above all, being misunderstood by the general public. As far as writing her arc is concerned, Odd Nation cartoons captured the very essence of a theatre person's mindset in a positive light, and managed to highlight both the pros and cons of said individuals. After the negative reaction Rhea's portrayal generated from the fandom, Ivy proved to be a breath of fresh air for those who work in the performing arts, and did what her character set to achieve from the jump, no matter what obstacles got in her way. Number 4, Richard. A mentor, a challenge beast, a role model, a coach, a husband, a father, a stand-up individual, and an inspiration through and through. Richard is basically the whole package for how one should play Disventure Camp honorably, despite your lower chances at winning, and how one should live their life in the LGBTQI+ community overall. He's so much more than just Season 4's version of Connor. He's a mature individual who lives his life openly and spends his time in the game raising the younger campers up to their full potential whenever they felt unsafe to do so. Richard brightened up every episode he competed in, and by the end of the season had cemented himself as a true champion and hero with or without the million. Number 3, Logan. A lot of the DC fandom are going to jump down my throat for this pick, but personally, I still love this goofy little goober. Playing Disventure Camp really tests everyone's morals, whether they are a good person deep down or not. Logan is no exception to this rule, and by the time the merge came, he did what he had to do in order to survive this battle of wits. Despite all the flack, you can't deny that the Olympic swimmer never made any moves out of malice. He stayed grounded the whole time by continuing to have fun in the midst of drama, and he utilized the controversial but effective flipping method to save not just himself, but his closest connections. In my eyes, this deserves credit for something, and he rightfully earned his place in the final just as much as Jade did, later becoming a divisive yet worthy winner. It's characters like Logan that demonstrate how one needs to keep the game in perspective, and that even good people aren't immune from making questionable decisions when a grand prize is on the line. Number 2, Benji. Say what you will about his low self-esteem and sit-outs in his second season, it's hard for me not to crack a smile whenever this little darling is on screen. Whether it's his juvenile sense of humor, his playfulness, his desire to be enough, his love for comic books and conventions, etc., Benji has a way of connecting to multiple people in the fandom, whether people like to admit it or not. We as human beings all have quirks that make us stand out from the rest, but with this characterization, he manages to take a little bit of all these quirks and rolls them into one. Sure, he's not perfect and has his flaws, but Benji never fails to leave an impression on someone in the community, and is happy to represent nerds, geeks, dorks, and overall goofballs everywhere. Number 1, Tristan. That's right, at the top of the list we have everyone's favourite goth non-binary individual who made LGBTQI+ history and sealed it with a kiss. After everything people who've had it rough in life have gone through, it's easy to become cynical and cold towards the rest of the world, but it's important that we break this cycle by spending our time making sure no one else lives their worst nightmare, and appreciating how far we've come from the brink. No one embodies this philosophy more than Tristan, as they became a beacon of light for those they associated with in the series along with the viewers, killing all the negative energy and hate in their life with kindness and finding a reason to keep going even when they felt stuck. For me, it's inspirational to say the least, so it's no wonder I named my beloved purple sloth plushie after them. They got me through so much with their vibes and energy, and with each of these elements coming into play, it was only natural to crown Tristan Vick as the ultimate reigning monarch of the carnival. So there we have it, my rankings of the characters introduced in Carnival of Chaos. This was probably the longest episode of Joining the Ranks so far, but it was important to me that all 18 campers this season got recognised as they're my favourite cast overall. 3 Disventure Camp entries down, 2 more to go, so tune in next time for when I look at the fans introduced in Fans vs Favourites. But before we get to that, remember to leave a comment down below letting me know how you would rank the Carnival characters mentioned in today's episode, whether we agree or disagree, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to get notified for all my latest videos. I love you for watching, and the tribe has spoken.
Bye!
Also, before we go, if you don't believe me about Isabel, here's a montage of Disventure Camp's best screams.
Oh my god! Angle pull, watch out!
Okay, all done. Bye.